Thanks for giving that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I give away the whole thing? 5 to 7 minutes, right?
Let's ask Beth. How much time do we have for this speech, Beth?
7 minutes.
5 to 7.
5 to 7. Yeah.
It's a challenge for you, Dr.
I enjoy challenges. I've got a quick question for you. Do you enjoy being a member of this Toastmasters club?
Yay.
Yay! If you're paying your membership dues, I'm going to take that as a vote of yes. Do you feel that you get something out of being a member?
Yes.
So this is a positive thing. So it breaks my heart to have to come before you today and say, we've got a problem in this club. I'd like you to view the club as being a bucket. And the bucket has a hose in it. And new members come into the club through that hose. But unfortunately, the club also has a hole in the bottom of the bucket. And through that hole, members who are already members of your club drip away. The problem with your Toastmasters club is the hole at the bottom of your bucket is bigger than the hose that's coming into it. You're losing more members than you're bringing in. I have some names I'd like to share with you. You tell me if any of these names seem familiar to you. Vinod, Jose, Don, Cindy, Sandy, Angelica, David, Veronica, Nishit, Den, Atul. These names seem familiar? They should seem familiar because within the last 6 months or so, they were members of this club. Have you seen them at a Toastmasters meeting in the last month? Last 2 months? Maybe last 3 months? Perhaps not. They've left your club. So that's a list of about 12 names. My question to you is, in the last month or 3 months, have you brought in 12 new members to replace them? I would argue that no, you haven't. Now, in a Toastmasters club, we have a person who we designate to be our vice president of membership. And as a club member, I'm as guilty as this as anybody. It's great, because when we pick that person, the rest of us get to wash our hands of that whole membership problem, right? It's their problem to solve, not mine. Well, that's one way to think about it, but that is actually the wrong way to think about it. In a Toastmasters club, the vice president of membership is basically a record keeper. So that's a person who at any point in time can tell you who is a member of your club. They can also tell you the total number of people who belong to your club. Fantastic. But it's not their responsibility to bring new members into the club. Guess whose responsibility that is? It's yours and mine. How have we been doing on that? Yeah. Maybe not quite as well as we should be. Does that sound fine? So if the responsibility for bringing new members into your Toastmasters club falls on you, what you going to do about it? I have a suggestion. I'd like to recommend that everybody in the club get a tattoo. I have a proposal for what it could look like. And I'm thinking getting it someplace where it's nice and visible. And why, you ask? Well, when people ask you about your new tattoo, what a great door opener to tell them about the advantages of belonging to your Toastmasters club. It's your call. You can do whatever you want. An alternative and perhaps less painful approach to growing the membership of your Toastmasters club is to do the single thing that is the most effective way to get new people to join your club. Free drugs. No, that's not true at all. Bring somebody to a meeting. Bring a friend. There's this thing called social proof. It's a fancy way of saying, hey, if you're doing it, I should do it. Right? So Toastmasters means something to you. That's why you show up and why you're willing to take an hour out of your day weekly to participate in this club. Tell people that you work with what you're doing and where you're going. And say, hey, this is my secret. This is how I'm getting my career, my personal skill set to develop. I'm willing to let you in on the secret, but you gotta not tell anybody else, okay? Bring them to the meeting. That's your responsibility. Once they're in the meeting, the responsibility for turning them into a member then becomes our responsibility. Now, in this modern 21st century that we live in, we hide behind emails, we hide behind Facebook, we hide behind Twitter. Actual human contact terrifies us. But you know, in all honesty, that's what you can get out of a Toastmasters Club experience, right? When somebody shows up in our club for the first time, we need to greet them before the meeting starts. Maybe even shake hands. Actual physical contact. They need to understand what we do during the meeting, and then before they flee, we need to talk to them once again and get their feedback, which hopefully will be positive about the meeting. So we've done our part. Now the Vice President of Membership, in the week that exists between when they came and the next meeting, needs to reach out to them. Needs to say, hey, thank you so much for coming. Hey, you know we're having another meeting. We'd love to see you again. It's more of a reminder than anything else. And if you brought them once, bring them the next week also. Okay, and we'll repeat the process. We can probably get them to sign up during that second meeting. And once we've done that, then we've got ourselves a potential member. And then it becomes, once again, our responsibility to create a club atmosphere that they'd all like to join. I'd like to show you a graph, because I know you're the kind of crowd that likes graphs. And this is a graph of something called compound interest. If you don't know what compound interest is, if I take $100 and I put it into a savings account, the bank will pay me interest. And then the next time the bank pays me interest, they'll pay me interest on the $100 I put in and the interest that they paid me last time, and so on and so on. And so my amount of money, my $100, can grow to become a very large amount of money over time. The same thing can happen in your Toastmasters club. If you bring somebody to a club meeting and they join, that means the next time you come to a Toastmasters meeting, you can bring somebody else and they can bring somebody else. And if that person joins, then at the next Toastmasters meeting, you and the person you brought can both bring somebody, and the third person can also bring somebody. Do this enough time, and we'll have to get some more chance. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Jen.
Good job.
Thank you.
And in Jen's defense, she did move to Arizona.
No excuse.
No excuse. She can tell look at me.